Okay, so let's take it all the way back to the beginning, right? So when you birth first joined the PTFS roleplay group, you were at the bottom of the ladder. What was the original goal when you first applied for staff? And did you ever think that you would end up running the entire place?
Well, I joined PRG in August of 2022, and I first applied to host. Um, and all I wanted was just a server I could play PTFS, and I saw I could host some events. I'm like, oh, that sounds cool and exciting, something to do to get my mind off school and things at the time. I never really thought I would go anywhere else apart from host, but then the head host position opened up, like the overseer of all of the event operations, and I was like, oh, I'll see if I can get that. I got that, stayed there for a couple months. Then I just really quickly climbed the ladder right up to owner by October. And yeah, so it was the goal. Just yeah, the goal originally wasn't really to do much. It was just to be a host for a couple months, maybe have some fun. And no, I definitely never saw myself as owner, but here I am. So yeah, Tiger.
Yeah, so I actually have a similar story. It was I think about like around March or like May maybe. I forgot what one of those 3 months that of 2023. Yeah, 2020. Actually, I don't
Yeah,
remember which year it was.
2023.
It sounds about right. That I found the game PTFS, and similarly to HTAG, I was like, why not? Like, let me find some servers. So I think I found a PTFS server, obviously PRG, through Discord server discovery as well. So yeah, that's how I got here. I wasn't really active until like summer that year. I went to a like a summer school, and then I got really bored. So I started attending events regularly, and then one day this event called flight staff training showed up. So I became a flight staff, and from then on, my career sort of advanced quite quickly. I became a senior flight staff, and then I applied for host. I got host applications, and back then the head host application system, I believe it was actually made by H, like was essentially um, not contestants was the right word. Like candidates would sort of write an essay about like why they should be head host, and then the team would take like a blind vote on them. So like who no one knew who wrote the essays. I believe I won by about one vote or something against this other nice guy who's not here anymore. I don't think called Abby, and I became head host like about I think like 3 or 4 days after I got host, which is really funny. And then from then on, I went through the moderation team, and then yeah, I became management, and then co-owner, and then there's been a few times where like HTAG has taken a break or something, so I've been owner sometimes. There's been some periods where I've taken a break, so I've just been gone for some periods of time. But as of right now, I'm back to just being a co-owner.
Nice. So talk to me about when you guys like climbed. What was the most memorable promotion you got along the way where you realized like, okay, I'm actually getting pretty good at managing this community?
Uh, I when I was host, I thought I was a very good host. I was like, I would always get max the full server full of role players to join my event. Everyone loved it. Everyone had tons of fun. And I think my promotion to head host was one of the most just great things that I experienced. It brought me to a management role. I'd never done anything like it before. And during those 4 months, I bring changes to the server and just the staff team in general, like so many changes that still stick around to this day, 3 years later. And it was just that promotion was, yeah. And then obviously my promotion up to like intern slash co-owner was very big, and I realized, oh crap, I'm almost there. And then I didn't expect to be owner, but then the current owner at the time, Tix, who was the owner before me, actually decided to retire and leave in January of 2024, and I got pushed up to actual owner, which was just crazy. I did not, yeah, I never saw that coming. He told me the day of. He told me the day off he was retiring, and he's like, "Hey mate, you're owner now," and he retired, and I didn't even have a chance to respond. So, yeah. Anyway, Tiger.
Sorry, could you reiterate the question, please?
Yeah, of course. So the question was, talk to me about that climb. So, what was the most memorable promotion you got along the way where you realized, okay, like I'm actually pretty good at managing this community?
I think for me as well, it would be from host to head host because, well, actually, it's a nuanced question because you phrased it like, which was the promotion that like made me realize I got quote unquote good at managing the community. I would say the head host promotion was the one that made me realize I am managing a community. It would probably be the promotion to the management team whenever that was made that I truly felt like I was getting good at managing stuff because or honestly maybe that's how I look at it now because maybe like I think 13 or 14-year-old me would have thought I did pretty good as a head host, but looking back there's obviously things I could have done differently. But yeah, so when I got head host I was sort of just very surprised, honestly, that I sort of got a management role. And ever since then, it's been less and less about PTFS and more about managing teams and helping people grow and stuff like that. So yeah, to answer your question, it's like the promotion that made me realize I was managing something was obviously head host, and the promotion that made me feel like I was kind of good at managing something was to management.
Nice. Um, so let's talk about this. So taking the keys, right? So when the moment finally came for both of you guys to take over, one as owner and the other one as co-owner, what was the immediate reaction? Was it pure excitement or did you instantly feel a bit of pressure? So hashtag, I want to know this as well because you were just given the keys, just like the owner before you was like, okay, I retired. Here are the keys, and you instantly got all of this responsibility. So what was it? Like, did you feel pure excitement, or did you instantly just feel the pressure, and did you feel nervous? Like, oh my god, like now I'm the owner. Like, what am I gonna do now?
It was a little it wasn't too bad for me because I had been the kind of intern owner for a couple months prior and had basically been doing a lot, like a lot more than the current owner had as he was very busy with his life. But obviously I wasn't the public figurehead of the server. So when he just gave me the keys to the whole server and I was like, "Oh crap." I was very excited to finally be the public figurehead and I could make changes myself without having to go through people. Um, but yes, there was also a lot of responsibility and a bit of nervousness thrown onto me because I'm like, oh crap, I have to really lock in and get things done, and I can't just sit back and yeah. Huh?
So, Tiger, how about you? Give me the like, how did you feel in the moment when you became co-owner? Like, how did you become co-owner? Like, how did that go? Did someone give you the position, or did you have to apply for it and then you got it? And then once you got it, how did you feel in the exact moment?
Actually, a very interesting story. I think the co-owner position has been nuanced and sort of has changed over the years on like whether we've had it at all, like who got it, etc. Like there used to be only there was a time when there was no co-owners, and there was a time when there was one, and there are times when there was like multiple, like there are right now. So I don't know. HX, do you remember exactly when I first became co-owner?
Um, it was the choice between you,
Zaza and I, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, I remember. So I believe at that time when I think HTAG was either reintroducing or introducing for the first time the co-owner position, it was really funny. Like we had this colleague who's I believe still very good friends with HTAG, but I haven't spoken to him in a bit. His name is Zaza, and he was like very good with like Discord permissions and stuff. Anyways, um, I believe at the time it was me and him were management, some other people were management. Hashtag was owner, obviously, and Hashtag was like, this co-owner role. So I believe like Zaza and I kind of like like not seriously, but like sort of like in unseriously competed for it a bit. I think Zaza got co-owner for a bit. Is that right, Hashtag?
yeah, I it came down to just I couldn't make a choice because I really liked them both. But I think in the end, you basically said he can have it. Because and he was
I believe
planning on
that. Yeah.
retiring in a couple months, so you were
Yeah.
like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
take it when he leaves."
So I'm guessing after that I got co-owner. I
Yeah,
honestly
yeah.
the details are very fuzzy in my brain. Honestly though, I didn't like Gage Stack said, it wasn't like a super huge change for me because before that I was already management and sort of my role hasn't like changed a huge deal. It's more just like I can help HTAG a bit more in terms of like jurisdiction and authority over the management team and how they're operating. But it wasn't like a super huge adjustment. It did feel kind of nice to what was the right word? Uh, I don't know. It's not like a huge like oh like I've made it moment because I feel like that moment's like when I got management. Um,
Like you were just like already ready. You were already doing
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
that
Like
like
my
owner
my
jobs.
I was already working with HTAG pretty closely. Like Zaz and I were already working with HTAG very closely before co-owner was reintroduced or introduced. I honestly can't remember if it existed before. Um, so it wasn't like a huge change for me in terms of like how I work and the people I work with and things I do.
So can you guys give me like what is PRG? What is the PTFS roleplay group? What do you guys do?
Okay, so I'll give you the canonical answer, which is the PDFS roleplay group is the largest and most active non-official. Oh, crap, I forgot the tagline. um, uh, community for PTFS essentially. So we've surpassed 35,000 members. We're like, are we almost at 36? I feel like.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, so we're like almost 36,000 members. Like we grow pretty quickly, especially over the summer. And essentially, what we do is we run events all day, every day. There's not a fixed schedule. It's more like we have a team of hosts, and whenever they are available, they will, plan an event to happen in, maybe like an X number of hours, and then people can just join. And because we have a global staff team, that happens every day. And we're different from airlines or like other roleplay servers where they just do one thing, like flights. We give host framework for what to host. Like we have some pretty famous events, including like the smooth landing competition that has existed since 6 years ago when Sprite and Rob founded our server in the early days of. Actually, no, it wasn't the early days of PTFS. Sorry, early days of PRG. Um, we have templates, but we also let the hosts, we also encourage the hosts to make their own events and think of their own fun ideas. So with a creative team of hosts and a global team of hosts, we can quite organically create a lot of fun experiences that might not be accessible in the constraints of other servers that just focus on one thing. So that's what I think makes it special. And I'd also like to mention that like PRG, because the sheer scale that we are at, we also have a very I would say comparatively well organized staff team and staff structure, and you know, I'd like to think I'm pretty proud of that. I think HTAG is too. With just like we have 100 people that's like mostly under 18, that's working together, making something like this happen for 36,000 of our the community.
H-Tag, is there something you would want to add to that?
Oh, I don't know if I can top that. That was basically everything
Yeah.
I would have said. But yeah,
That,
definitely, I completely
yeah,
agree with
that was
everything you
amazing.
said.
Yeah. Okay, what makes PRG like what makes it the largest, most active running PTFS community? Like what about it? What's so special about PRG? What's so
Um,
special about PTFS roleplay group?
I would probably have to say just the fact we host a variety of all different events. It's not because most of the PTFS servers are airlines, so they just host flights. For example, Air Canada, the I think the biggest PTFS airline now, or one of.
And that's
Um,
correct.
yeah, they host just flights every day. Um, not all of the smooth landing competitions and stuff. That's I think why we obviously are the biggest and most active because say you don't enjoy role playing, you can just have fun doing landing competition races. They just do all sorts of things. And then there's also just a lot of different other things. We offer PRG Times, our weekly or bi-weekly newspaper.
My
Um,
schedule is out the window at this
yeah,
point.
the schedule's been out the window. And then we have a bi-monthly, I think it is, magazine thing. It's called PRG Skybound, that releases every now and then. Uh, and just we have a really active and connected staff team. Like for example, right now, um, they were just playing Among Us in our staff VC just then. Like there's always people doing things and being active. Uh, and yeah, it's just that's probably one of the reasons.
Here, I'll be gone for about 2 minutes. I don't know if you guys want to hold or just keep talking while I'm gone, but yeah, I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, is he gone?
Yeah, he's gone for 2 minutes.
All right. Um,
I can answer something while he's gone if you want.
yeah. I was, I was gonna go off script, and I was gonna be like, I was gonna be
Yes.
like, yeah. Oh no, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hashtag. Let me ask you this. So you're 15 years old, correct?
Yep. Yeah.
Um. Okay, so tell me, when did you join? How old were you when you joined? When you
So
first joined
this is a
PRG?
funny story. I joined PRG for the first time in 2020 March, 2 days after the server being created, and subsequently got banned for being 9 years old. So I was banned from PRG before I became owner. Then in 2022, when I was 12, I joined PRG. And yes, that's under 13. I was not supposed to be there, and I was not a very I was a bit of a naughty boy and should not have been there. But I lied and said I was 13. And that lie carried for a really long time until probably about a year ago now. I said, "Hey, I'm not actually 16. I'm 15." Or not 15, I'm 14. So yeah, I was below the required age of PRG when I first joined. But to everyone listening, please don't join the server when you're 12. You will get banned. Our staff are pretty onto that, making sure that there's no people who are not supposed to be there. But yeah, that's a very interesting way how I got into PRG.
That's crazy. So you went from getting banned your first time there to being the owner of PRG.
Yes, it's a very uh
The irony of it, you know?
yeah, it definitely is. It's very odd.
Wow. So, wow. Okay. Hey, Hashtag. What made you come into my show? I'm not gonna add this part in. It's just more of a question for
Oh,
me. Like, what made you
I
want to come into the show?
I get a lot of it like it's very surprising. I get a lot of interview requests. Like I get because I get probably at the moment 300 to 400 message requests per day asking for things and asking questions. And a lot of the interviews I get asked are like, "Oh, can I interview you like via text or just in a VC?" But when you reached out and you seemed pretty determined, you opened a ticket and DM me and DM'd a couple staff. With this whole talk show, you had like an in-game thing. You had just and you had interviewed people in the past. I was like, and then I watched your interview with Gamo, and you asked him some really deep questions. I really liked that, like how you asked, like just some stuff that a lot of people would be a bit scared to ask someone, like about how, if they really enjoy their server anymore and stuff like that. Just yeah, it was different from a lot of the interviews because I've done a couple in the past, and a lot of the questions have been like, how do I get owner? Like the interviewer asking how they
No
get
way.
owner, and I'm like, what? And stuff. They just like it's a lot of boring. But yeah, you asked really interesting questions. So that's
Thank you, my
part of
man.
it.
Hello,
Thank you, my
I'm
man.
back.
I appreciate you. All right, Tiger. Welcome back, Tiger. Let's continue these questions because I know you guys have. So we have about 15 minutes left. So I'm gonna ask you guys a lot of questions. Okay.
Yep.
In the next 15 minutes. So be ready for the questions. All right.
Yep.
So I asked. Okay, I get this question. So when I interviewed Gamma, I was asked. I was DM'd and I was asked on my Discord server, and the questions were, "Hey, you should ask. How do you become a staff? How do you become a staff member, a host?" So then let me ask you guys that question. How do you become a staff? How do you become a member? Like for
Well,
PRG.
it's pretty simple. Our outlines are publicly defined. So the entry to our staff team is you either join as a member of the media team, or you can join as a member of the roleplay team. The moderation team, we pick people from the roleplay and media team. But to join the media team, there is a always open media applications. You can take a look at that. Sometimes we specifically need more of blank type of people. We will send out an announcement for that. For flight staff, we host somewhat regular flight staff trainings that
I think
usually
it's
happen
every
over.
week.
Yeah, every week. Sometimes we do less or more based on demand from us. If you join those events, you'll be able to learn how to be a flight staff and eventually go through a whole internal training process to become a flight staff. For host, the process is a little bit more stringent. We have host applications that open once every I want to say like 2-ish months based on again demand. Um, where it's like sort of like a job application type thing where there's a series of essay type questions. We pick the best responses. And then there's a whole training process teaching you how to use our music bots and how to prep an event, what the different formats are to keep things organized, how to manage flight staff, manage the handle the role players in your event. Um, and yeah, it's lots of fun. Like if people are interested in joining our staff team, you should totally look out for one of these things and just come in and say hi and yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about the partnership between you, Tiger, and H Tag. So you both built your way up together. How did your dynamic change from being a fellow staff members to now sharing the highest authority in the group? How do you split up the decisions,
Um,
like the important decisions and all that?
well, were we what I don't remember what role I was at when you first became staff.
You were either head host or above that. But like we need to preface this by saying we did not start at the same place per se at the same time. HTech was already like a somewhat senior member within the staff hierarchy when I joined as a flight staff.
But yeah, I mean, at the moment, we make all the decisions together with our management team. I think 9 of us at the moment. We basically do everything together if there's any big decisions, and yeah. But like I remember at first we would call before we were both owner. I think sometimes kind of talk about things that like, oh, why is this happening, and like this is stupid or whatever, and sometimes talk about things. And then I think once I became owner, I think we kind of became close friends and made decisions together. Even when you were probably still a admin and senior admin, I probably asked you for
Yeah,
advice
probably.
and things. And then the management role didn't exist until like I became owner. And then I think Tiger was one of the reasons I made the management role because I wanted a role to kind of be like a help, kind of the advisors to help me run the server, and that's why I made it for people like Tiger and then the person we were talking about earlier, Zaza. I think Sammy at the time, which is another past management member. But yeah, so our dynamic has stayed relatively the same the whole way through. We kind of just always talked about stuff and made decisions together.
What's the so now that you guys have reached the top, what is the most rewarding thing about running PRG day to day?
It's a very good question. I don't know if HTech will agree with me on this one, but there is a certain satisfaction that it's sort of like stable. Like we can leave it be for like somewhat extended periods of time. Like obviously checking in once in a while, but then we don't have to micromanage anything. Like the management teams and the staff teams and all the staff have well-defined hierarchies and pipelines and operating procedures that we don't have to micromanage. Like we can just sit here and watch a server run and gain like 1,000 members in 2 months or something like that. Like for example, HTAG doesn't. It's not that he's not active. He's very active in like checking around the server and making sure things are going okay. But he often doesn't have to say a single word for the server to be running well. And I think that's very important because at the scale of 100 something staff members, we don't want to be micromanaging something. So the fact that it is just autopilotable, that's not a word, but yeah, it's very satisfying.
I think another thing, I agree with Tiger, but like if you go back, turn the clock back 2 or so years, it was the opposite. We were micromanaging every little thing because the server just wasn't at a stable position. A lot of things weren't going well. We didn't have strong people in strong positions to run teams. And then after the hundreds, possibly thousands of hours we put into the server, we finally got it to this point where we don't have to do all the micromanaging, and it is very rewarding just watching a server be so successful after the years of work you've put in and not having to do every little thing every day now on. And just seeing everyone have fun with each other. Like even just watching the staff, for me, all of our newer stuff, like making friends and stuff, reminding me of what I did when I first came. Like I made a lot of friends with like Zaza, Tiger, Sammy, the people I just spoke about, management members. I made those friends years ago, and I'm still friends with those two people. And Zaza and Sammy have long moved on from PRG, long moved on from it. They retired probably years ago, and yet I still talk to the both of them almost every day. And then there's countless other people which I still am very close and in touch with. Um, I think that's very rewarding, just watching people make connections in where I used to. But yeah, I think that's about it.
Okay. My next question is what is there any downsides of like what are the okay, I'll ask you that in a minute. I'm gonna ask you this question. Is there any sacrifices that you had to make the group to where it is right now? One of the biggest Roblox
Uh,
aviation groups today. Like, is there any sacrifices that you had to make? Because a lot of people always tell me, like, okay, one of the biggest sacrifices was, sometimes I had to lose time. I had to lose, not going out with friends and all that. So, at the same time, it's a game at the end of the day. But also being 15, running a group with over 35,000 members, did you have to make any sacrifices?
um, definitely some. I mean, I wouldn't say I you know, lost time with my real life friends and my family or anything. I definitely made a lot of time sacrifice. Sometimes I was like, oh, that assignment can wait for a couple of days while I work on this thing for
Okay.
PRG, and then maybe made my assignment overdue. But like apart from that, there isn't many major things I missed out in real life. But definitely online. I mean, I I made a lot of sacrifices in friends, like having to promote, people over people and making people feel really bad about them. Oh, hang on, I just jumped out of my seat in the game. Sorry. Um, and just yeah, little things like that. I mean, nothing too major in that sense, Tiger.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think like it would be a lie if I was like, oh, I sacrificed family, friends, school, etc. I don't think I really did that. I mean, a lot of time did go into the server, but I think it was very enjoyable time. I wouldn't call it a sacrifice. I would call it more like a willing commitment to doing stuff in the server. Um, so yeah, I don't think I sacrificed anything. It's just I happily, willingly contributed time to the server.
Is there any so what are the downsides of running one of the biggest PTFS communities? What are some of the downsides that people don't want to talk about?
Uh,
Like, what are the
definitely.
challenges?
Okay. Definitely criticism from people. It's very much appreciated a lot. but sometimes there's a lot of criticism that gets directed your way when sometimes it's not entirely, your fault. That's definitely a struggle that we used to face a lot. There was so, there was a person a long time ago that kind of went on a big thing about um just like how I was not running it well and stuff, and we tried to address that, and just stuff like that. There's a lot of criticism that comes your way, but obviously we're mature enough to handle that without getting all mad and stuff. Probably the other downside is just the sheer amount of messages I get. I, I miss a lot of my actual friends' DMs and things from people and friend requests because I have a lot of DMs and message requests and friend requests to go through and pings. That's one of the downsides. I reckon a lot of people would probably think that's really cool because, oh, you're getting so much attention. But I mean, for the first couple days and weeks and maybe months of it, it's like, oh my God, I'm getting so many message requests and I was responding to them all. Nowadays, I think 90% of the message requests unfortunately do not get responded to because it is too much. I don't know if Tiger has that issue. I feel like no one else ever gets as many message requests as me for some reason, even though you're the second highest on the role ladder in the server. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't nearly get as much. Like as H said, he probably gets like I don't know, like 20 maybe more like DMs a day. That's like, can you please add the A330 like 1000 ULR delivery to PTFS? I don't get that for some reason. I don't think any of the other management do. I mean, sometimes I get like an occasional like, hey, can you add this to PTFS in my DMs? But it's like once every week instead of 1 day a day. Um, for me personally, I feel like sometimes, as much as I love the server, there are stressful moments. But I also think that's like part of what makes it enjoyable to be here. Like it sounds counterintuitive, but I think part of working here and part of enjoying the process is accepting that there will be stressful moments and things that go wrong, and I need to step in and whatever, right? But that's also kind of the fun of it because I've agreed to say, hey, I'll help manage the server, I'll help manage the staff, I'll help set our standards and uh, handle situations, and yeah, it is kind of rewarding when things get resolved and things settle down. But sometimes the cortisol is a bit high in certain situations.
Another downside I just wanted to mention was the fact that every single person I've met, basically every single one I've met outside of PRG, when I tell them that I run a Roblox Discord server, I usually get a little bit of a, oh, hmm, you know? And a lot of people think it's very weird and things, but I mean, they can think what they want to think. I
This
find it
is
very enjoyable for me. It's just like recently I've been playing Minecraft with a lot of people, and a lot of them treat it as a big joke that I run a Roblox roleplay server, and they're not as bad. But like some of my real life friends are like, "Oh, it's weird." But yeah, that's probably
I'd like to add on to that. This is a very interesting thing for me because my outlook on it is like people will laugh like if I say like Roblox playing game role play server, like it does sound a bit weird on paper, but like if you explain it cleanly and like explain that I manage people, I help manage the teams, I set standards, I write handbooks, I lead meetings, it actually sounds kind of cool. Like although maybe the substance of what the organization is based on can be a little dumb, like a playing game in Roblox, the actual organizational feats on top of that is certainly not dumb. Like again, we have 100 people in 4 distinct teams, which have like complex like agreements with each other and how things should operate, and we have our own rules, our own standards. It's pretty impressive that we've been able to create this, and I don't think the fact that the underlying purpose of this whole thing to make Roblox events, I don't think that undermines any of this real like organizational and teamwork and leadership value at all. Like in fact, I talked about I don't did I tell you this hashtag? I talked about working at PRG on my high school application. I got
you
actually into
did tell
some
me that. You did tell me
yeah,
that.
I got into some very very nice high schools with that. So yeah, it's not a bad thing for sure. Like you shouldn't be ashamed of the hashtag, even if people tell you.
No, I'm definitely not. I just find it very funny what people
It
say,
is, it
and
is, yeah.
it's like, oh, yeah.
It's true, yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, ashamed of what? You know?
Or just some people would probably think that when people, go like, "Oh, you run a Roblox multiplayer server, so weird," I would feel ashamed. I don't. I just know
Mm.
that they definitely hear that and they're like, "Oh, what the hell?" That's a very weird thing to do, but no, we're not ashamed at all of doing it.
So, I'm gonna go a little bit of off topic because we have a little bit of time left. So I'm gonna just say this real quick. Yesterday, I interviewed Cam Plays. I don't know if you guys know him or not. Cam Plays. He has over 200,000 subscribers, and I interviewed him, and he gave me a similar story. How I, everybody knew in his school that he was a Roblox YouTuber, and at the time he had like less than 1,000 subscribers, and people would make fun of him so much, And I guess that he joined a live stream of one of the guys that he went to high school with, and I guess that Cam was like telling them like, "Hey, check out my channel." And so, the people on the live stream, they were checking out his channel and they said, "You're never gonna be shit. Like you're not gonna be anything." Like they were just making fun of him because he was a Roblox YouTuber.
Yeah.
But then he told me that on the last day of school, he hit 100,000 subscribers. In the last day of school, his 100,000 subscriber plaque button came, and he took it to school, and he proved everybody wrong. you
Mhm.
know? And he basically told me like you can't care about what other people think because if you do, then at the end of the day, it's gonna ruin your own self esteem. It's gonna ruin
That's
um your perspective in anything. If you
that,
love it, you love it.
that's what I've definitely learned. I don't care what people think or say to me
Yeah.
about any of that. Like, I know
Yeah,
that I'm
because
being a success in PRG.
yeah, because you're 15 people that whoever makes fun of you, they could go fuck themselves because you have a bigger impact on people than those people do, you know?
Yeah. Yes, that's a interesting way to say that, yeah.
Yeah. So, um, before we end the segment, I'm gonna ask you guys three more questions real quick, right?
Yep.
What made you guys want to start PRG? Like, what made you guys want to pursue this? What made you guys want to just one day? Okay, I just want to be a host. Like, what made you guys, and especially become an owner now? What's your
Um,
motive? What was your plan behind this? Behind everything here?
before I joined PRG, I always knew I liked running things. Like, I was a very bossy 9-year-old. Um, I liked being the leader kind of thing. And I was like, oh, I would love to host some events, like be, the person who gets to choose what we do and then like do that. Not so much that person anymore. I don't really enjoy telling everyone what to do, when to do, how to do it. But then I got one of the things in PRG actually, I hated the way that they had their Discord permission set up. Absolutely hated. Absolutely, like it pissed me off so much when I joined because it was just all wrong, and I knew how to do it very well. I've made a couple $100 after making Discord servers for people a long time ago, and I was just like, I'm getting owner of this. Once I got head host, I'm like, I'm becoming owner and I'm fixing all of these problems. And that's what I did. When I became owner, I raid proofed the server. Because before I was owner, if you really wanted to, you could probably go in there and pretty easily just raid the server with however means you wanted, mention raider or anything. And that's one of the things I changed. That's one of the main motivators for me was like, I'm fixing this server and its permissions. And also
That's hilarious.
I just wanted I just once I realized I have a chance at owner, I'm like, oh my god, this would be really cool. It'd be really like I'd love to change this server for the better and make it something memorable and big for everyone. Tiger.
Yeah, so for me, my main motivation. Oh, well, originally I liked playing PTFS, but very quickly after I got head host, I think. Actually, right before I got head host, when I was like, I want to be head host, it was sort of like I realized that like there were certain things in the staff team and the server as a whole. I don't do like I now do, but not back then. I didn't really understand like Discord permissions and stuff. So that wasn't my motivation. It was really just more like on a personal level with all the staff, I realized there was like a lot of potential like community standards things I could maybe help with. Um, that was my main motivator from then on. Like I I cared about PTFS less and less over time, and more just like I loved shaping the team into like something enjoyable and efficient and I guess again enjoyable and fun for all our staff members. So if you have ever been a staff member, there's a good chance you've heard of me talk like ramble on about like professionalism and respect and shit like that for like a long time. But yeah, it's sort of my passion to like um, improve and work on like the teams and the people and sort of just the human side of things in the server. That has been my motivation and sort of goal ever since I've been in pedos.
Okay, so looking back at the entire journey from the bottom all the way to the owner, if you guys could sum up your entire experience leading the PTFS roleplay group in just one word, what would it be and why?
Um, that is that is a very hard question. Let me think.
Take your time, brother.
Wait, so just
Probably just one word. Probably if I had to put it all into one word, it would be pretty simple. I think it would just be fun. Like
Fun.
I've had so much fun and enjoyed it so much. We did so much cool stuff. We hosted air shows, we, you know, made events, we did everything. We played Among Us together every couple weeks. We had Minecraft servers. We did everything as a staff team. It was so fun and enjoyable and really filled a big gap in in my life where when I got home from school, my real life friends were off doing elf swings and I'm sitting at home like playing single player on my Xbox, just like stuffing around in Terraria or something, or just in PTFS in a public server. And so yeah, it was just so just fun. I reckon if I had to put it all in one word, it's very simple. Tiger.
yeah, I would say rewarding. I feel like I learned a lot from
Mm-hmm.
the server in terms of
Mm-hmm.
how to be a team member, how to be a leader, how to be a friend, how to be, insert a vast number of roles here. It has taught me a lot about sort of just general like how to be efficient and uh, how to be efficient and respectful and cooperative in a cooperative workspace. But also, I think it has gotten me to sorry, has given me the opportunity to like expand on some of my other skills as well. Like I've made like quite a few videos for PRG now that has helped me with my sort of just content creation skills. I made the music bots that has helped me with my developing and like hosting sysadmin type stuff. Um, that's just a lot of things I've been able to do and a lot of skills I've been able to develop while I've been at PRG. And obviously, I've made a lot of great friends, met a lot of great people. So I think all in all, it is extremely rewarding.
When the time eventually comes for you both to step away and hand the server keys to the next generation, what is the single biggest lesson you hope the community takes away from the era you ran?
That is also a very difficult question. Probably just think
Like, what do you
before,
want people?
just like think
Yeah.
before you act, kind of thing. I I did a lot of things back in the day where it was like I would do something. I'm like, hang on a minute, that was not a good idea, or something, or even just like bring an idea to Tiger or something, and he'd be like, H tag, what are you talking about? Just really think before you act, and just do the best you can, and don't obviously care about what people say, but don't take everything little thing that they say as what they mean. You know what I mean? Like, don't listen to every hater of your server, and just
Mhm.
yeah, do you do you kind of thing.
Tiger.
Yeah, it's I've been thinking
Hey,
about this
hey,
for
real
the
quick,
entire time.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
okay, real quick, I'm just gonna like elaborate a little bit more. So, what is something that you hope that that let's say, like what do you hope? Like, let's say you guys are the current owners. What is something that you want people to remember you, like let's say we had a president, oh my god, that president, he was the best. When he ran the country, we were playing games every day, we had good gas, the country was active. Like, that's more of what I mean. So like what is something that your leadership that you want people to remember about your leadership? Like, how fun was it? Like, like what, like, it was the most active of its time, it was the golden age of its time, you know just to elaborate a little bit more.
I think it would be a little egotistical of us to say like, oh, like they should remember this as quote unquote the golden age of PRG or
Or
something
what you
ridiculous
want,
like
or yeah, it was more like just statement, but it's more of like what do you want people to remember your guys' leadership legacies?
that. Hey, should I go and take a try at it?
Yeah. More just like to do. I took over the server in a time of, I would honestly say, a little bit of inactivity. And I
Mm.
brought it up, not single-handedly, of course. Um, but with the help of a lot of people, and brought it up over 25,000 members at this point, and just remembering how much it grew, and all the different events we did. Like we had our winter air festival. We also had a summer air festival, which we never talk about. That's a story for another day. But yes, winter air festival. What else did we do? We had a smooth landing tournament too a long time ago. Just a lot of, yeah, different events and things that I hope to remember, and just hope to remember that while I was owner, the focus of the server was fun. It wasn't all about this big, like, oh, there's 36,000 members, and we need to be all ultra professional. Everyone's having fun. That's the main point of the server. Yeah, but I hope that's remembered.
To the people that made this group possible, who are they? Who would you want to shout them out? Like, who are the people besides you and Tiger, and
Yeah. Um.
who are the ones that made it possible as well? If it
Well,
wasn't for them.
definitely the founders, Rob and Sprite, who, the server wouldn't be here if they didn't make it. And I had the pleasure to obviously meet them both. I was not a staff member while Sprite or Rob was an owner. When I joined staff, Rob was actually a senior admin, and Icy was the owner. And that's another person I'd like to shout out. Icy Icicles was his username. He was the biggest help for me when I became owner. He was the owner before Tix, kind of, and he really showed me the ropes and kind of gave me a bit of advice. He's a great. And then I'd also just like, if you wanted to shout out people, all the people who have helped along the way, just all the friends. A lot of the people I still talk to now, like I spoke about Sammy, Zaza. There's more people, just, yeah, just tons of people who have helped. I probably can't list them all because there's too many, but yeah, just a lot of people.
Yeah,
Tiger.
and it's a little corny, but I'd add like thank you to our current staff, current management team, and obviously all the people who have been a part of our community for the last 6 years. Obviously wouldn't be here without the continual support from everyone. And yeah, it's been a pretty great journey for PRG, I think. Even though I've only been here for like less than half of it. I don't know, H-Tech, you've been here for like about like just over half of it, right?
2/3,
Two
I think.
thirds.
Okay, so we're gonna give you the final word today to your staff, to your board members, and every single pilot in the community watching this right now. What is the ultimate message you want to leave them with?
I'm just gonna say have fun. Like that's kind of the point of the server in the end. So
Yeah,
like if events aren't fun, like PRG's over, guys. So yeah,
yeah.
have fun.
Yeah. I would just have to say the same thing, just kind of, yeah, just like have the most fun ever. And if you're in PRG and an event's terrible, and you didn't have fun, you can always ask someone. You can open a sport ticket and be like, "Hey, this event really was bad. Is there some like it's something you can do, like, or give feedback. I think give suggestions. Just like be part of the community. You know, a lot of people I think sit back and just click the join button and be like, oh, I'm in an event, and then they never talk again. If you talk in the community a lot more, make suggestions, make things, you'll make a lot of friends. You'll make connections that maybe won't last forever, as obviously you are. A lot of people live across the world from each other, but you'll always remember them and be like, "Oh, that guy, he helped me do this and that," and it's just yeah, just have fun and make friends.
Okay, real quick, I was gonna ask you this question. This is gonna be my last question. I promise you, real quick. My last question, real quick, is: did you ever have to fire any high-ranking executives? If so, why?
Oh,
Uh-huh.
uh,
You don't
I,
have to
I
answer that
can
one, by the
I
way.
I can
But
talk about this.
okay.
Yes, I will not say any names, of course, because that may cause some drama. There's been a couple who have done things that were big no-nos. Things that they've said something. It's like, whoa, like, yeah, let's not be saying that. I won't go into specifics, but there's always been, I think, probably maybe 4 or 5 high-ranking staff we probably had to fire in the past couple of years who have done bad things, and it's just yeah, it's just part of the responsibility of owning the server. You need to take out, even if they were my best friend, I need to take action on them if they're doing bad things and things.
Yeah.
And like I'll go into one specific thing. A long time ago, we had a staff member who kind of fake doxed himself and tried to get ownership of the server. Uh, which was, I'm sure Tiger remembers this. Maybe, and kind of did a lot. And he also like got my address and things, and he did a little bad things, and we figured out who it was because he was kind of hiding his identity, and we figured it out, and we got rid of him. So it's like there's been situations like very high risk situations where things have gone into play, and we've had to fire high ranking members of staff. But yeah, not too much, but occasionally, yes, we do. Not in a very long time though.
All right. That wraps it up. So everyone, I just want to say thank you guys for watching today's segment. This was the owners of PRG, um, PTFS Roleplay Group, and I hope you guys have a good night, a good morning, and a good day. And I hope that you guys learned something from this. As I said, that's always my goal, is to always, it's always too good to get knowledge from these people, the experiences, just in case if people ever want to run their own PTFS group. Um, but yeah, everyone, I hope you guys have a good day. Um, yeah, hope you guys enjoy.